Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's your boy Hupsaiya. Remember, if you enjoy the content, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. I appreciate you. This is going to be my basic breakdown of the Celestials' absolute basics. The early game, you're going to start, the game's going to pop. You're going to see 3 units and a structure. Your first unit here is the Ark Ship. This is technically a structure, but it functions like a unit for all intents and purposes. It can move. It has the ability to build prisms and morph cores, which I will explain shortly. It has a spell called Skyward Salvation, which it can cast on an allied unit that will heal that unit over time for a large amount of health. And it has the ability to create a cascade field around itself, which allows you to build other buildings around it. As Celestials, just like Zerg and Protoss in StarCraft 2, and I'm sure many other games, you are not allowed to build buildings unless you have your creep and or power field. So, the next step here, your Ark Ship can build prisms, which are your workers that gather resources. Prism can be stuck onto a Luminite mine, and it can gather with up to 3 buddies, so up to 4 prisms total can be on a Luminite mine, and you can have as many prisms as you want on your Therium. You will deplete the Therium, and it will be gone forever if you put too many workers at once on it, and it will take forever to respawn. So that's the real basics there. The other main production structure that gathers resources for you is the collection array, which can be built from the quick build menu, and you can build it directly on top of a mine, or as you can see here, the morph core can also transform into any building. So most openers commonly start with the Celestial player sending the morph core, which can build buildings regardless of Cascade Field. So I know I said, hey, you need Cascade Field to build your buildings. Well, you need Cascade Field to build your buildings. I know that's echoing in your head, but Morph Core breaks the rules of Celestials because the Morph Core is cool. You can come over here, and you can slap the Morph Core on top of a Luminite mine, and it will build significantly faster. Essentially what you're going to do here is the Morph Core takes 25 seconds to build, and what you're going to do is minus 30 seconds from the build time of anything that you would build with a Morph Core. So a Creation Chamber takes 40 seconds to build, but with the Morph Core, it takes 10 seconds to build. So early on in the game, you have like quite a few branching decision pathways between do I build prisms and do I build Morph Cores, depending on what you want to do. Do you want to proxy a building on the other side of the map? Make a Morph Core, send it across the map. Do you want to build your economy at home safely and in a centralized location? Build prisms. So that's the Morph Core, that's the prism, that's the Ark Ship. Your Ark Ship is essentially your nexus or your hatchery or your command center or your town hall if you're an Age of Empires player. And what it can do is it can upgrade 2 times. You go to tier 2 and it becomes an Ark Station. And you go to tier 3 and it becomes an Ark Fortress, and it gains a new ability, which is a gigantic ultra death cannon laser beam that I've only had the privilege of using 1 time in the entirety of my time in this game. Very cool, super cool, awesome. All right, so a lot of people are confused about building with Celestials. So as I said, the Cascade Field is where you can build stuff, and you're almost exclusively going to be using the quick build menu to build buildings. So instead of doing something like selecting a worker and then opening the build menu and telling the worker to build something, you are going to just open the quick build menu, choose the building you want to build with a hotkey, or I guess you can click on it if you really want to, and then you build the building, and it'll just pop up there, and it'll slowly build over time. And like I said, the Morph Core is the exception to this rule. It can transform into any building that you want it to, wherever you want it to. So you are seeing a lot of strategies developing with Celestials where people are proxying buildings. The main mechanic of the Celestials is the power bar. You can see at the top of the screen here, we have a yellow bar, or a yellow number here, which indicates that I am low on power. You're going to get high on power by smoking the ganja. No, I'm kidding. By building power banks. Power banks are the thing that are going to provide you with power. Normally, The Ark Ship at the start of the game provides you with a limited amount of power, 30 power it looks like, and then every power bank you build is going to provide you with 15 power. So the thing that power does is allows you to produce extra structures. You're going to see here on the command card that a creation chamber consumes 6 power. So every time you build a creation chamber, 6 power is minused from your power permanently. And then most of the time what I've taken to as a habit is that I will build power banks every time I produce a structure. Moving on, the next stage of power, besides upkeep for your buildings instead of supply, as you can see here, we're at 300 supply. We don't have to build supply depots. Instead, we have to build supply depots for our buildings. I like that they tried to include this in the game, but it really is just replacing the busy work of building supply depots with building power banks instead. So if you were hoping for Celestials to be easier than the other factions, it's not really like that. You're just replacing one task that must be done perpetually with a different task that must be done perpetually. The secondary purpose of power is to be able to allow you to use your top bar abilities. You have 6 top bar abilities. The first one is Power Surge. Power Surge can be used on any of your buildings. You can use it on your Ark Ship, and it makes it move a lot faster. It makes it regenerate energy a lot faster. You can turn the Power Surge off at any time. So you see it minuses 10 power from you, and as we described, when you're in green power, you get massive bonuses to production speed, construction speed, research speed, your towers shoot faster, your buildings regenerate health, and your units will regenerate energy while they are within the range of a cascade field. So being in green power is really good. Being in yellow power is bad. And being in red power is, oh fuck, I'm absolutely screwed. Because everything slows down. I'm going to show you here that when I go into red power, right? Now I'm in red power. When I build a power bank, it takes 15 seconds. But if I build a power bank while I'm in red power, it's going to take like 25 seconds to build instead. So when you get into the red power, it is a compound negative effect where it will take longer for you to get out of red power because you're in red power. So it's important that if you have buildings power surged, that you turn them off when you get into red power, because you want to get out of red power as quickly as possible, like I said, or it's going to take you longer to get out of it. The Power Surge ability can be used on any one of your buildings, like I said, and you can see what the bonus that you would get from the Surge bonus is by mousing over this tooltip on the building. I'm not going to go over every single one. For all of your production structures, the Surge bonus is completely uniform. You can see it here in the production thing. It's the little yellow text. It says Surged. Units are trained 50% faster. This is the important surge bonus. When you build a production structure, you build a power bank, and then you surge bonus the building so that it builds units 50% faster. It's a very massive bonus, and you want it active at all times. So when you surge bonus buildings, it's going to minus your power permanently until you turn it off, which means you need to make a lot of power banks, okay? This is very expensive, and building power banks nonstop is very taxing. Your second ability is Sovereign's Watch. Sovereign's Watch is our main Defender's Advantage mechanic, essentially. I'm going to turn these off. They're a little distracting. Sovereign's Watch can be cast onto a building that is within 15 range of a collection ray. They recently added this exception to the Sovereign's Watch so that people could build buildings in their opponent's base and then attack them with the Sovereign's Watch. What it does is it activates the building, puts this cool crystal Temple of Doom thing on top of the building, and the building will automatically shoot at enemy units nearby it. Our third ability is the Zenith Scan, and the Zenith Scan is just like Scan from StarCraft 2 on Terrans. You click Control plus E. By the way, you can change all these hotkeys if you'd really like to, and then you can scan a spot on the map. It shows you that spot. For 2 seconds, you get a full picture of the area, and then for 6 seconds, you get a smaller picture so you can scout your opponent. The Tier 2 ability, Evolution Catalyst, and the other tier 2 ability, Purify, are unlocked when you get your Ark Ship to tier 2, which is something that is unlocked by getting a creation chamber. What a catalyst does is it will instantly delete a creep camp. It will give you all the money for the creep camp, and then you can go capture the creep camp. If the creep camp is already dead, what Evolution Catalyst does in that circumstance is it will respawn the creep camp a level higher than it currently is. As you can see here, my Argents have no problem killing these creeps. They kill them in 2 hits, but if they're at level 2, these slimes are going to have almost twice as much health, I believe. They're going to have more armor, they're going to do more damage, and it's going to be much more difficult to kill them. Right? So if I use the Evolution Catalyst, it will send the little slime up into heaven, and you will get the money from it, and then the camp is yours to take. And as we can see here, if we use it a second time, it will respawn the camp, and the camp will come back at a higher level. You can see the slime. Okay, it's more than doubling the health. They had 120, now they have level 300. So this is important and helpful because you can then just use it again on the same camp and get all the money from the level 2 camp. And as you can see, these camps gave me twice as much money at the second level as they did at the first level. Purify is your 5th top bar ability, and what you can do is call it down on your units, and what it will do is it will dispel harmful negative effects from your units, and it will also dispel positive buffs from your enemy units. So if your opponent is attacking you with a speed camp and they're running up the ramp, you can just slap Purify on top of them, and as they run through the Purify, it will remove their buff from them. It will also remove debuffs from you, and its secondary ability is that it restores energy to your friendly units. As you can see here, I'm going to drain all the energy on these Argents over here, and they regenerate quite slowly, but when you put the Purify beam on top of them, they get all their energy back really quickly. So this is very impactful mid-fight when you have super powerful spellcasters like the Animancer and the Kabbalist later in the game. You use their spells, they run out of energy, you drop the Purify on them, and you can maybe use your spells again. The final top bar ability, which I don't have unlocked right now because I haven't built the tier 3 yet, but you have to build the tier 3 Ark Fortress to unlock the final ability, so it is very far into the game, and I currently don't think there's a very good use for it, but it's called the Aon Gate, and what it does is it creates a large building called an Aon Gate, which allows the direct transfer of units from one Aon Gate to another Aon Gate. So you're going to have to build 2 of them to get the effect of it. They're kind of expensive at 100, 100, and they build in 40 seconds, and unfortunately, you cannot build them with a morph core. So you can't just go anywhere you want and go build an Aon Gate. It is very limited. You're going to have to build it in your base and then build it at a different base that you have. And what it does is it acts just like a Nidus Worm from StarCraft 2 or StarCraft 1, and it allows you to transfer large amount of units from one area to another area near instantaneously. It has a secondary effect when the building is surge bonused. As I said, every building has a special surge bonus. It's up to you to go read all that stuff because I don't want to tell you, because I shouldn't have to read for you. Its surge bonus is that it stealths all of the units that come in and out of it, and it stealths itself, which is pretty cool. I haven't gotten to use it yet. I'm really hoping that maybe we see that sometime soon. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If this was helpful, if this gave you a little insight into the beginning stages of the Celestials, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe. I would appreciate it so much. Thank you. Leave comments below if you have questions. Peace.